Welcome. It's a Thursday. Welcome to Clock in the Gallop. We're on the 2nd of February. We're out at the Vaal Classic track today, despite the fact that they've had a lot of rain there. And there's a bit of a role reversal here because Lyle's taken the day off from the track and I'll be traveling out there today. But Lyle, always good to have you on Clock in the Gallop anyway. And we're hoping that you enjoy your day off. Put your feet up and watch the racing coming out from the Vaal today. You've studied the card though.
Yes, I have. I look forward to watching you. That's going to be fun for a change, actually watching. And yeah, I didn't think it was an easy card, but and you say there's been a bit of rain, so we need to tread carefully.
Yeah, so quite a bit of rain. In fact, there was some talk about possibly moving it if the rain persisted. But today there's only expected to be a couple of millimeters on the track today. But the track condition as we start the Vaal meeting is soft. So the important thing is we've got a soft track, a penetrometer of 27 to start off the day, which may improve during the course of the day. But 42.5 millimeters of rain, Lyle, fell in between Tuesday and today. So that's quite a bit of rain. 42.5 mils. So therefore, and in addition to that, 18 millimeters of irrigation. So you're talking over 60 millimeters of water down on that track in the last 24 to 36 hours. It's quite a bit.
That's a lot. But from experience, the Vaal does tend to take water very well. Just in my time, very well. We've arrived there when it's been raining for 9 hours, and we've actually raced.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it'll be okay. Yeah.
So very quickly, Marco van Rensburg preempted his return to the saddle on Tuesday. No, in fact, I think it was on the weekend. Well, it might have been. I don't know when it was. Was it Tuesday that he tried to?
You might be right.
He had
Tuesday,
one ride.
He was there on Tuesday. Yeah,
he had one ride. He had one ride, and then he was booked off for the rest of the day. I think he suddenly realized that it wasn't so. Wise to come back and ride so quickly again after that fall, which, by the way, was terrible. I called that race. It was an awful fall, and he was lucky to come away with just a few scrapes here and there. Now, Lyle, we're on the back of our direct line, and just a public thank you to those out there that supported us. I know we got a lot of support of people rallying behind Clock in the Gallop for our direct line. I know that Joburg was obviously the best meeting. We had a stormer of a meeting on Sunday, an absolute blind of a meeting. And then the Mets, we were divided. There was divided opinion on who would win the Met and the other race on the day. But I think by and large, there was a great reception from our followers.
Yeah, it really was. It was a lot of fun putting it together as well. And as you say, just Sunday alone, a lot of people made a lot of money. So that was the good news. We really were on form on Sunday.
Yeah. Pity about that objection in the last, which cost us a little bit because we were sort of laughing all the way to the bank when Iron Tail got through. But the objection, which I'm not going to elaborate on, but another very, very dubious decision by the Stipes there on that objection, which followed in the footsteps of a previous decision that made with almost more or less the same situation. But we'll come to that at another time on another program on another day. But Lyle, we've got racing today at the Vaal Classic track. I'm going to bring up the betting. Let's go through the 9 races carded today at the Vaal Classic track. The first couple of races are juvenile races, so we'll talk about these juveniles in a moment. Let's go to that first race, which is a 1,000-meter maiden juvenile plate. And in the first race, there's a jockey change for the favorites here. Number 2, Circle of Grace, is Samanga Khumalo. And that's the only change there. In fact, no, there's one other. Number 4, Pomo Clapper, has been gelded. So that's the other change. All the money's been for Circle of Grace, who turned out a very useful debut run.
It certainly did, Nico, and I wouldn't put it past the son of Patala Palace winning with Samanga Khumalo aboard. Nicely drawn as well. But I'm worried about this race, Nico, being a 2-year-old juvenile race over 1,000 meters and a few first-timers that could be well bred. And another thing I want to say straight away here, this is a BSA bonus race, 100,000 rand.
Yes.
And a person like Mr. Roy Magna is a very shrewd man, Mr. Magna.
Yes.
So just be careful. I think you need to be careful in this first race. The horse like number 1 as well. 1, 3, those 2 on debut. I thought they might be here for the correct reason. So for that reason, okay, next question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
The form lines of Circle of Grace and then, of course, Virginia Beach, which is courageous, and number 6, Heirloom. I didn't know which form line to go on. So if we go on the Virginia Beach form line, I actually have Courageous at the top of my selections as my first selection, being 5.5 kilograms better off with number 6 Heirloom for 2.25 lengths. So I actually went 5, 6, 2, obviously, and then I'm very respectful of number 3 and number 1.
Yeah. Again, it could be tough. I preferred Circle. I must admit, I was strong in the camp of Circle of Grace from the form horses. But like you say, when BSA are giving these 100,000 Rand checks, it's advisable. And I'm again pointing people towards this because it's something that you have to certainly factor in when you're doing your analysis. The traders are chasing that 100 grand. They get 10% of it. So they get only 10 grand, but the owner gets 90 grand. It'll be, and the owner, to get an extra 90,000 Rand, Lyle, from winning a race is big. And the trainers, the owners rather, will be very thankful to the trainer and more than likely will send the trainer another horse. So you have to look and see which horses are eligible for the 100,000 Rand bonus. Now, in this race, you've got all of numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8 are the ones that are eligible if they win. So I think the winner would come from one of those. I'm in agreement with you. I think number 3 is a danger, Max the Magician. I want to see what he looks like at the track because Roy Magna, as you said, is a Shruti. This is a son of What a Winter. They got Muzi Yeni on. I think that may well be a danger. I'd like to see what he looks like. By the way, number 1, Johan van Vuren is expecting this to run on into the minor money, American in Venice. I think it's a bit short for it. It's the half-brother to Permesso Avanti, by the way, who he also trains. And then just quickly on the 7, Mount Etna, she's a daughter of Erupt. I think she, again, is another one looking for further. She's the half-sister to Coming Hot and to Green Bubbles. So, again, I think you've got a point there with that 100,000 Rand bonus. Look out and see which horses are eligible. It is in the computer form. It does tell you which ones are eligible, and I think the winner will come from one of them. But I am in the camp of Circle of Grace, but I think a first timer may crop up here.
In the mix. Okay, got you. Good race. Makes it interesting.
Yeah, it makes it interesting. Let's go to race 2, which is the start of the bipot. In the second race, number 10, Sugary Sweet, is now the mount of JP van der Merwe. And the horses that are eligible here are quite a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's easy if we go through the ones that don't qualify. The ones that don't qualify are 2, Global Thunder, 5, Leaving Las Vegas, and 10, Sugary Sweet are the ones that don't qualify. So that said, look at the money for the first 2. Number 1, Call Me When You Need Me, and number 2, Global Thunder. Have you got anything to tell me on these 2?
Oh, Nico, I thought this race here was stronger from a breeding point of view, and there's a lot more speed in this race here. So for that reason, 6 first-timers, I look at the mares, of course, and the 1 horse, obviously the money coming, the mare won from 12 to 16. The 2, Global Thunder, the mare won from 12 to 14. Definitely speed there. Speed in that 5, Leaving Las Vegas, the mare, in fact, won over 1,000 meters. The 6, Missed in Scotland, the mare won 3 times from 800 to 1,200, so a lot of speed there. Move and Over, number 7, the mare won over 1,000. The 8, Spring in Heaven, also 5 wins over sprints, this mare. And then number 9, Stormy Choice, also won 7 times the mare from 1,000 meters upwards. So to be honest with you, Nico, I thought this was an incredibly difficult race. And I don't mind if you laugh at me with my selections. I'm probably going to lean towards a horse like number 9 from 5 and 7. But I have no idea. I'm thumb-sucking.
Yeah, very tough indeed, this race. Again, we're going to revert to what we see on the track. I thought the 1 was bred to go further, being a daughter of Master of My Fate, to be honest. I see there's a lot of support for it into 13 to 10, but I think the jury may well be out on that. It's the half-sister to Bumrah, who's by Flower Alley. I just think that needs further. I'm interested in the support for Corey Lensley's horse, Global Thunder. because the mother, Rain Tonnerre, won at 2 years old. So she was a juvenile winner. She won when she was 2. So it comes from a bit of juvenile form. But the thing that interested me here was the 6, funny enough, Missed in Scotland, because we know how good Paul Matchett is with the babies. And this is his first baby to run for the season. I looked it up. And he does train juvenile winners, and this is 20-1. Again, I don't think that's out of it. The 9, David Nevenhuizen stable back in form. This is littered with issues. And then of the ones that have run, I, funny enough, preferred the 7 to the 8. I think the betting slightly prefers the 7 to that, but I do prefer Move On Over to Spring in Heaven. Again, you mentioned it. I don't like this race. I think the first time may well win, but the question is which
one?
Yeah, which
so
one?
I'm glad you're on course, because you can have a look at them. And then just to mention that BSA again, a certain Mr. Arun Chadha, also a very shrewd man. He knows where the BSA races are, and he's got 2 runners here.
You got 2
as we
runners,
said, 7 and 8. So beware there too.
Yeah, load up in the opening leg of the bipod. Be warned that is not easy. Put in quite a few. Race 3 is the start of the PA. It runs at 1:25 It's a maiden plate over 1,450 meters. Here there are 2 scratchings, number 4 Broadway and number 11 Chateau Futura. A jockey change. No, there isn't a jockey change, but there's a blinker update. Number 8 Williamson has now got blinkers on. Well, this horse, Slinky McPimpy, may be the shortest price. It is the shortest price horse in the day. And Philip Vermeulen, we were chatting about him the other day. Just a wonderful chap. They won again with Savannah Storm. They won the Wolf Power 1600. They've done so well with that horse. But this horse is at 3 seconds in a row. Looks to win the favourite.
Yeah, thank goodness we've got one best bet in the card, because I can't see this. On paper, this horse can't lose. The son of Coup de Gras. The form lines are fine. The mare was talented. The 1450 is going to be no problem. The draw of 7 is okay. So certainly best bet in the card. I don't like the price at 4 to 10, but I do think that he'll win. And then after that, I was just trying to find a bit of value in the form of number 9. Count Your Chances.
Yeah, stop there, because they've just scratched that. I'm just looking now.
Oh, the 9.
The 9 not eating up has just been scratched about 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's making the race easier for the favourites. Then number 10, Efficient Trade, I thought could be an improver with those blinkers on. And number 2, Fast Duty. So this is quite an easy race. I think 1 from 10 and 2. End of story.
Yeah, I'm going for 1. And the horse that I'd like to improve a little bit is number 6, Air Fusion. Purely on account of the fact that the mother Icy Air was a prolific stayer and is related. This horse is related along the lines to that very good filly Make It Snappy, who everyone was all the rage on for the Met. So I think this horse is going to improve over the extra trip, and they've got Gavin Larena back on. I mean, it's interesting to see Gavin has finished 11 lengths back on it, 13 lengths back on it, gets back aboard, which is strange. But 2. So I thought that was possibly the improver, the 14-1 horse, number 6, Air Fusion. So scratch 4, 9, and 11 are now scratched in the third race. But I think it's going to take a good one to beat Slinky McPimpy. Race 4 is the start of the pick 6 at 2 o'clock. It's a Pinnacle Stakes, fillies and mares over 1,600 meters. Here, there are no changes in the 4th race. And there's a field of only 7, but I thought this was trappy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nico. It's a Pinnacle where there's not much difference between the points. But after saying that, I've eventually tipped them 1, 2, 3, 7. So I'm going against, obviously, number 5, Ululat, who's weighted 2nd best, just not in the best of form. So I'm just ignoring that one today. So then that leaves me 1, 2, 3. And the 7, who's not particularly well weighted compared to the rest of the field, if you go on that last run, was just ahead of number 2, Hollywood Bound, and is 2.5 kilograms worse. So theoretically, number 7 should be beaten by 2. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, and 7. And theoretically, I'd expect him to run something like that.
Yeah, there's not much between them, though. The question mark is, I think, the distance of 1,600 meters. Marigold Hotel hasn't won in a while. Hollywood Bound for me is more on form. So of those 2, I'd probably lean towards Hollywood Bound slightly. I'm worried about the trip for a horse like Supreme Quest. I think she's more effective over shorter than a mile. Gilded Butterfly is more effective over further than a mile, I think. I think we're agreed on that one.
Yeah, yes.
And then it leads me to an interesting horse that I thought might have a
Shivers.
chance, and that is Shivers.
Can I just interrupt you, because you make a good point on the Sound of Warning form line.
Yeah,
she's got number 1 held. I hear you, Nico.
So the reason why I put Shivers in was because I know that the last time she ran, I went for her, and I saw the comment from the stable was needs it. The question mark is she going to need it today? I thought she might be the lurker in the pack here, Shivers, because she was a pretty decent horse when Dory Sham trained her, and Chase Morjan knows her well. Maybe I might bump into Chase before the meeting starts and ask him what he thinks of Shivers, because he must have ridden her at work. And then Queen of Shadows, as you quite rightly mentioned, cannot be left out of the equation, although it looks like Hollywood Bound has her beat on the Under Your Spell run. So for me, 2 and 6 were possibly my top ones from 1 and 7.
Okay, got you. So same numbers, the wrong way, different way around.
Different way around, yeah. Okay, I want to move to race 5, and just to quickly let you know that there's a late scratching here that Gimme a Flame has come out. I'm just picking up now that number 1 is a scratch off its feed, and number 9 English Primrose, ridden by Dennis Schwarz. But you can scratch number 1 Gimme the Flame, who was set to carry 58.5 with the apprentice allowance over there. Now this race was horrible. The other scratching, by the way, is 6th Time for That, who would have had her 3rd run in less than a week, or in about a week. So she's out. So we're 8 horses in the field, and I think it looks like a field race, to be honest, because I like a horse or 2, but I'm not positive about it. What do you like?
100%. I think it's a field race, absolutely impossible. And I'm leaning towards number 9, English Primrose. This is now Dennis Shaw's Lucky Udlarkus, drawn 2. And if you look at her form lines, compared to a horse like, just want to see which one it was. I think it was number 3, Oyster King. Just way stronger form lines, to be honest. So 54 kilograms, drawn 2. 17 winners have come through and won in the last 5 runs. And that merit rating, I mean, this is getting ridiculous, down to 54. So that was my value in the race. Then number 3, Oyster King, also way down in class here. Even though carrying 60 kilograms, I know this horse well. Chris always chats to me about this horse. And when he's well, you have to be very careful of him. So he could win a race like this. And of course, number 2, Wandering Star, who on that run behind Pragmatist was 1 1/4 lengths behind number 6, who's now scratched, of course, but would have been 4.5 kilograms better off. So I've gone 9-3-2, even a horse like number 7, but very open, Nico. Don't like it.
Yeah, so interesting you say your horse is number 9 English Primrose, because I said to you that I chatted to Neil Andrews today and just briefly before this, and he likes your horse. So he is on Primrose as well. He does like English Primrose, and he may well put this as his price booster of the day. I don't know what he's going to do later on when he does his price boosters, but he quite like that. I was more in the camp of a horse like Parker Getrix. I preferred that to the stable companion Oyster King, although Oyster King did bounce back to form. But I was leaning towards horses after number 6 for the winner. I thought that the winner would come from 7 down. Big City Girl, the question mark is the trip of a mile. I went back and had a look. She's had 2 runs over the mile, but she comes in with no weight on her back. And for that reason, I think she has to be slung in for good measure. So I'm happy with 7 downwards. Tara E.T. I'm not as big on as the other 3, but I thought a lighter weight would win this race. So I'm going from 7 down.
Agreed. I would put number 3 in as the 1 heavyweight. Oh, Nico, I remembered what I was saying to you when I was studying the form here. Number 9, English Primrose. Number 10, Big City Girl. I just forgot which horse I was comparing. In the last 5 runs of English Primrose, 17 winners. In the last 7 runs from Big City Girl, 2 winners. It is ridiculous how different these 2 form lines are. So I'm with Neil on this one.
Okay, that's the talk from looking the Gallop team on race 5. English Primrose comes out pretty high up in the order. I'm a Parker Getrix man. I'll be going for that, as well as the other ones that we've mentioned there. So we move on to the 6th. at 10 past 3. It's a merit rated 84 handicap over 2,000 meters. There are 2 scratchings here, number 4, The Brief, and number 5, Great Affair. So 4 and 5 are scratched from race 6. And then there was another change, which I wanted to quickly wrap up on. No, there wasn't. In fact, it was in race 7. So just the scratchings here, 4 and 5. Now, this horse, Total Protection, let's talk about him first. When the gates opened last time out, he literally just stood. He had never done it before. I think you spoke to the Fortunes, and they said, well, we don't know what happened. What did they say?
Andrew Fortune was absolutely shocked. He couldn't believe the horse did that. Ryan Mungo was so distraught because they really thought he was going to win. So, yeah, they were very sad about the incident.
Now, what does that mean for today? I mean, there's no guarantee that he's not going to do the same thing today.
Yeah, we can probably say the same as we did last time. If he jumps, well, I'm not going to say he will win, but if he jumps, he's a massive runner, obviously.
Yeah.
On that run behind Porto Manzano, he's a massive runner. But he does have to carry 61 kilograms. It's not going to be easy.
So this horse, Celestial City, is the favorite at 14-10, and then you've got Total Protection at 22-10, and then you've got 9-2 and 7-2 Future Pearl and Top Sail. Again, whilst it may appear very simple to work out, is it?
No. Let's do this for the 4th consecutive time, Nico. We have beaten Celestial City 3 consecutive times, and I'm going to try and do it a 4th time. And I'm sorry, I want Celestial City to win, of course. The beautifully bred son of Silvano. I hope he wins. But again, like we have done the last 3 times, turn over the page to a horse called Top Sail. In the maidens, Top Sail ran half a length behind Celestial City, 1 kilogram better off. So there we go, straight away, there's nothing between them. Secondly, if you look at the maiden win of Top Sail, he won here course and distance in a time of 1:21.43. That's a very fast time, and he's 6 kilograms better off today than he was when he won his maiden. So for me, this is the horse to beat. Number 8, I know it sounds ridiculous because he's coming out
of... That is a fast... You mentioned the times there. It is a fast time because when you go to the course record, and we'll bring up the course record a bit later on, I won't talk about in another instance. But if you look at the course record is 120.64.
Yeah.
We're talking only 0.8 of a second outside of
with 58.
And it's down
with 58 kilograms.
Yeah, and it's down 6 kilos. So I get you there. I don't think this race is, again, as clear-cut as it purports to be. Look at the horse, for example. I'm not saying that he's in the race with a big winning chance, but look at a horse like Elusive Swan. Now, I know it's 25. I know it's the biggest outsider in the field. But his course and distance form ain't bad.
Yeah.
You know,
and I'm going to add. Can I add on to yours? Kentellan Bay is quite highly thought of by the stable.
Yes.
This is another horse. What is it? 20-1. They could also pop up. These horses are just out of their maiden, some of them, and I have to be very careful.
I hate to say it, Lyle, but I'm not comfortable with this race either.
No, me
I'm
neither.
not comfortable with this race either. I thought it was trappy. While Celestial City might run into the placings, probably will run into the placings for the PA. Total Protection, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He may stand, and people, again, will scratch their heads. But, I mean, that didn't come out of nowhere. Or it might have come out of nowhere, but, I mean, we can't take it for granted that he's going to go today. If he does, he's still got to carry the 61 to win. And he's got to give Top Sail 9.
9. To a horse that ran 0.8. A horse that ran 0.8 of a second behind the course record, he's got to give 9 kilograms.
When you do a bit of lateral form using Billy Bowlegs, if you do the exercise, and I promise you I spent a lot of time on this last night, when you look at Billy Bowlegs and you look right across all the form line there, Future Pearl comes into it because it's
it would.
3.5. And remember, we took Future Pearl strongly on the show when Sianda Sasiba rode it to win. It was 8-1. We couldn't believe the price. It shortened to 4-1 and won like a good thing, beating Lebecchio. I'm worried about this race.
Me too. And I had Future Pearl as my 5th selection. The only problem with Future Pearl is those last 3 form lines have produced absolutely nothing. But it doesn't mean he can't win. I agree with you. This is a tough race. For that reason, I'm happy to sit on Top Sail each way. I think it'll give us a good run.
Could be. You know, you bring up a very valid point there. I'm just not comfortable with that race. If I had to choose a Rover, I'd probably go for Future Pearl. But, you know, even me mentioning also, if I'm mentioning Elusive Swan at 25 to 1, then it's upset material in that.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go to
100%.
race 7 at 3:45. This is a merit rated 96 handicap, a sprint 1,000 meters. No scratchings here, but Ryan Munger now hops aboard Umtombo Walwazi, number 9, is Munger's ride. Number 3, Samuel Salt, has blinkers on and a compression mask on. And then earmuffs go on number 8, Windwater. And number 9 has Alamites in front only. So there's been a few changes here to this race. What's your feeling in race 7?
I thought this was a good race, in fact, and I've ended up going with number 2, Sheldon, because Sheldon on that run behind Flower Bomb holds number 7, Set to Go. Set to Go and Umtombo Walwazi are on top of each other on that run behind Mover and Shaker. There's nothing between them. So because of that, I'm going for number 2. He's a very good sprinter, the son of Kawari, with Gavin aboard. That'll be my first selection from the value number 7, Set to Go, so to speak. Number 9, Umtumbo Walwazi, and I'm not going to leave out number 8, Windwater, who does have 53.5, 1-for-1 over course and distance, and I do think will improve with time. But I'm a bit worried about the 1,000 meters for number 8. So 2978, Nico. 2798.
My gut feel here, if the track stays wet, is to look for horses drawn bigger up the straight. But if you look bigger, you're going to find horses like May Queen, who won very well last time out. With Randall Simons. You're going to find those horses as opposed to maybe even a horse like Samuel Salt, as opposed to Sheldon and Set to Go and Windwater, drawn to more towards the inside. I'm expecting the interesting choice of rider for Windwater. What do you make of that? Kamalo hardly rides for Jan, and has had very limited opportunities for that stable.
So that's a very good point that you do make there. I mean, this horse is doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
53.5 kilograms. I would not leave this out of anything. I just don't know how good he is. When you look at form, I keep on going back to the form lines of Sheldon. And if you look at Sheldon's run against, and then, you know, Samuel Salt and May Queen, Sheldon's run against a lot stronger. I know he's giving weight away. So, the interesting horse is number 8, Windwater. We'll see how good he is today.
Yeah, he's got those earmuffs on, which is an interesting piece of equipment change there. He's at 4 to 1. You mentioned Set to Go and the line of form with Sheldon on the run to. I take it you're going on the run to Flower Bomb, are you? Flower
Bomb run, yeah.
The only difference there, Lyle, is that Set to Go did not have blinkers on that day, or did he? No, I think he had a tongue tie. He seemed to run better with the blinkers on, but he's not the easiest horse to ride by the looks of things. If you study the form. But I quite liked Set to Go. I thought he had a chance. Lyle looks like he's frozen there for some reason. I don't know what's happened there. But again, Lyle's leaning towards Sheldon. He thinks Sheldon is the horse to beat there. He's at 5 to 2. And Lyle, you're back with us. I was just mentioning Sheldon. Okay. I was more in the camp of Set to Go than I was on Sheldon. But you mentioned that there was that form line there. And then Windwater, and then at a huge price, May Queen, because it ran such a good race last time out. Anyway, moving along to race 8. See if we can pick out anything in race 8 at 4:15. It's a Fillies and Mares 90 handicap over 1,200 meters. No scratchings here. Chase Morjan rides number 4, Golden Aspen, as the jockey change. And you can put a pressure halter on number 2, Midnight Gem. The favorite is Cold Fact, won so well last time out. They put the pacifiers back on, 12 to 10 to carry 60.5.
Yep, that's going to be my selection with the big weights and all. Cold Fact, the way that she did win last time, like you said, that was so impressive. She is up 1.5 kilograms, but again, look at that time, Nico. 67 point something. I've just blocked it off in my book.
67.87. Yeah, 67.87.
Course record 67.5.
Yeah.
So yes, is up 1.5 kilograms, but the way that she won last time, she will be my first selection if she runs anything like that. Wow. Number 7, Rockets Red Glare at 8 to 1, definitely my value, because on the penultimate did beat both Silver Winter and Aga Heat, who both coming to the play. and then number 4, Golden Aspen. 4 kilograms better off with Cold Fact for 5.5 lengths last time. This Golden Aspen's been good to us on our show, so I won't leave her out. So not easy. 1, 7, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Just quickly go back to the previous race. Remember I said I was talking about times there. The reason why I like May Queen, did you see the winning time last time out?
Let's have a look there. Yeah, 50. Oh, geez, that's ridiculous.
It won. May Queen won in a time of 55.51 over 1,000 meters. The course record was 55.31. So it was 0.2 seconds outside the course record, and it's sitting at 16-1 May Queen.
Let's put May Queen in. That's very fast.
It's very, very fast.
55.51. Wow.
Yeah, that was very fast. That was what I was talking about the times. Now, you mentioned Cold Fact. Cold Fact was only in its last win at 0.37 outside the course record, which is funny enough set up by Pinch Hit, which we labeled Brandon and I when it won that day at the Vaal. So, yeah, I get your fact on Cold Fact. I just think at the prices that Midnight Gem might be a price to include, but I know she's riddled with issues. She's her own worst enemy. She often doesn't load, so she might well be scratched. But I thought she was a bit of a run. I do like Cold Fact, and the other one, I think you mentioned Rockets Red, Claire, did you? As a
I did. I quite like. Yeah, I think that's the value, Nico.
Yeah, she might well be the value here at 8-1. Okay,
I think she's been looked past. She's got 52.5 kilograms.
Yes.
She's beaten some of these, and she took on a much stronger race last time. People must know that. That was a strong race.
Yeah, so she might well be in the mix there, Rockets Red Clear. Okay, race 9 is the last of the day, runs at 4:45. It's a fillies and mares 74 handicap. It's over 1,200 meters in race 9. No scratchings and no further changes there. What's your feeling on the last?
I thought open again, Nico. I'm actually leaning towards number 4, Princess Ilaria, this daughter of Pomodoro with Gavin Darina. And that all goes down to that maiden form line when she's waited to beat Little Miss Moneybags. And so that's Princess Ilaria first. Number 5, Defender of Rights, my second selection, who does hold number 6, Gin and Tonic. And then, of course, we have to put Little Miss Moneybags in, dropping down in class. She's running well. There's that May Queen run. And then number 2, Second Breath. So the way I read it was a bit of value for first, 4, 5, 1, and 2, Nico.
Yeah, again, I think they've got the prices wrong here. How can Princess Ilaria be 7-1 and Little Miss Moneybags 28-10 when you look at the form line? Form doesn't lie. Princess Ilaria is down 1 kilo and Little Miss Moneybags is up 2.
Yep.
And there's 0.2 of a length between them. One is 3-1, one is more than double the price. I can't believe it.
And number 4 is drawn 1, and she's got 12 winners behind her in her last 3 runs. So
again,
not the
I
worst
can't understand the pricing up here. Whilst I'm a big fan of Little Miss Moneybags going further, and I think she'll improve over the classic 1,200 because it's a turn and she's got a longer time to run into it. I think the 1,000 was far too short last time out. I make her a runner, but I think at the prices, I'll be rather on Princess Ilaria at 7-1 than Little Miss Moneybags at 3-1. Funny enough, I think both of them might have to play second fiddle to Defender of Rights because I liked it last time out. Back down in trip. Pinch Hit set a course record on that day, which we've just mentioned.
Correct.
And she was a bit behind Pinch Hit, was Defender of Rights, but I think she's in the mix too. So I think it's very much as you say, those are the potential ones to fight it out in race number 9. Lyle, that brings it to an end, by the way, for those people that didn't join the Clocking the Gallop direct line. There is another one coming up at the end of this month, February, for the Cape Derby weekend, which starts on the 24th of February and ends on the 27th. Lyle, have a good off day. I'll make the trek out to the Vaal for you. We'll take it on the chin.
Please help the punters in race 1 and 2 because those we need the help.
Yeah, we'll have to go and have a look at those horses close up and personal and give you the feedback on them. Lyle, have a great day. Thanks again for your input. It's Guineas Day on Saturday. We're looking forward to chatting to you then because I think there's quite a bit to talk about for Guineas Day.
Certainly. Looking like a lovely day's racing. Looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lyle. Have a great day and enjoy it.